Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with Zege International. It's my privilege to welcome you to our Saturday morning fast start training. What we're going to do this morning is a couple of agenda items. I'm going to be sharing with you information that I was introduced to over 30 years ago when I first started this journey in a network distribution business model. I left my career as a cross-country truck driver to get involved in this profession. And the information I'm going to share with you literally allowed me to be able to retire in 10 years. I mean, 20 years plus before most people retire, this industry allowed me to retire and for quite a long time live the life most people dream about. So hopefully you're encouraged just by that you're going to want to take some good notes. Got a couple of quick announcements. Next Saturday morning we'll be at the same time, but we won't be doing a Saturday morning fast start training. The corporate team at Zege International has given me a special consideration. I will be hosting the first virtual Surfs Up Summer Tour event. We're going to be doing this for all of the team members that perhaps you'd like to have a tour event in your area. It's too far to get to one of the major cities. This will be an opportunity for you to be able to participate in an international Surfs Up Tour event from the comfort of your own home or your office. And so, gather up your friends, your distributors. We're going to be able to do the same information that's happening all across North America right now. And so we encourage you to participate in that. The email information will be going out later this weekend. However, it will be this same meeting ID number. So we're going to keep that consistent. All of you are going to be able to participate in that event regardless of where you live. And so I'm excited about that. Zege, rarely, well, I don't know of anybody else who's been able to pull that one off. I guess there's some advantages to having been around from virtually the beginning of the company. So excited about that event. We're going to cover the Saturday morning fast start training. We'll be about 30 minutes doing that information. And then for the balance of the hour, I will take questions, live questions. Somebody said, is that really a smart thing to do? And you never know what the questions are going to be, but certainly we'll do our very best to respond to that. And if you happen to be participating with your own web camera and you'd like to come on the screen to ask your question, just let me know. And so let's go ahead and get started with our Saturday morning fast start training. And again, this was information that was shared with me 30 plus years ago. And I have to tell you, this information, what I'm going to share with you right now, is virtually identical to the notes I took 30 plus years ago in my first Saturday morning training in a small little office here in Ventura, California. I did a couple of minor tweaks for Zege, but it's essentially the same thing. Concepts remain constant over time. If they're correct concepts, they're going to remain constant over time. Techniques will change over time based on technology and that sort of thing. But this is going to be the same information that was given to me, that I've used to build my first retirement income. And then, a few years ago, getting started with Zege International, used the same concepts, the same system, the same formula to build what's become a multi $1-million income business that's now internationally, and here's the key: doing it part-time from home. You're in my home office right now. Welcome to all of you for coming into the home. Obviously, it would be very difficult to get you all in this little room at one time. That's why we use this format. And the key thing I want you to pick up from this training, number one, it's a simple system. If you follow the system, if you are consistent, daily basis, and persistent over a prolonged period of time, the success results you're looking for are inevitable. Number two, pick this up from this training because it was key to getting me to engage in this kind of business. When I looked at this, these were the thoughts that I had in my head. It looks simple, looks like it'll work, and I think I can do it. Looks simple, looks like it'll work, and I think I can do it. And if we can frame up everything that we do in that format so that the average person can see those things, then you have a system that can be duplicated by the masses. That's what our profession of network distribution is all about. It is the average person's best chance to create a business that provides leveraged and residual income. And folks, when you get that opportunity to have leveraged and residual income, you will never, ever, ever want to go back to a job or a traditional business. And, you know, I see a few people on the line here that have already been able to experience that. I'm thinking about, in particular, Mike Crane, very successful business owner, him and his wife, Shauna. And they would never, ever, ever want to have anything but a network marketing business now that they've had that experience. So let's go ahead and get started. First step is to understand, what is it we do in our distribution model? Okay, very simple. There are three things. You may want to put this in your notes. All we do is, number one, we share the product. Number two, we share our business opportunity, our income opportunity. And number three, we teach others to do the same. That's it. Anything beyond that is outside of our business model, our distribution model. We share the product, we share the income opportunity, and we teach others to do the same. Now, how do we do that? That's the next question. What do we do, and how do we do it? How we share the product. Let's start with number one there. How we share the product. Three ingredients, three essential components to that. Number one is use the products. Use our Zija products. The best way to share something is not by trying to learn all of the knowledge about the product, all the ingredients and the science and the applications and so on, but rather use our products so you can have a personal experience with the products and share your personal testimonial on the products. Now, what else do we need to do to be able to share our products? We have to talk to people. Okay, that's number two. Talk to people. And I'm going to speak about that a little bit more in depth here in a moment, but this is something that's really simple, and I don't see why people don't get it. You're going to have to talk to people. You're going to have to share your experience on the products. Nobody's going to knock on your door in the morning and go, say, you guys got any Zija in there I can buy? You got to talk to people. Okay, so that's pretty simple. Number three, share the stories of results, yours and others. See, that's the key to having a system that is duplicatable by the masses. So how do we share our products? If you will, how do we sell our products? Number one, use the products. Number two, talk to people. Number three, share the stories. Share your testimony. Share the testimonials of others. When I first started with Zija, I had a major shoulder surgery about 9-10 months prior to Zija. And I'd always been in pretty good health, pretty active, but I had some real challenges with that shoulder surgery. 9 months later, the rehab had gone terrible. I was on massive doses of anti-inflammatories, the kinds of things that you're not supposed to be on very long because it damages the liver. And that was the best they could give me. That was the best I had. And 4 days of using our Zija Moringa drink, I woke up on the 5th morning, forgot to take my medicine. I didn't have any pain. I didn't have any of the restriction. It was amazing the kinds of results I got. And there's so many stories of different things that people have had such positive health-related benefits from our products. You want to have your own personal story, and you want to be able to share the stories of others. That's why using the products is so important. And I suggest use all the products all the time. Be able to share your personal testimonial on all of the products. I personally, well, I don't use all the products. Okay, I don't use the AGX women's formula, for instance. There's another product, Gentle Repose. I don't use that one. That's more of a lady's product. However, I do use all the products. I use all of our core nutritional line. I use the skincare line. I use the Ripsticks fitness line. Use a lot of essential oils. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you can see it in there. It is in the your what left hand, right hand corner. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused here. You can see my my little Ameo vaporizer, a diffuser. I've got, one, two, three different diffusers in the house. There's 5 different areas. I call my essential oil stations, where I keep different essential oils for different purposes. And we're using all the products here in the home. I've got my 91-year-old mother on the products. I got my grandbabies on the products. So first thing we do is we share our product. And how do you do that? Use the product. I'm going to recommend use all the products all the time. Secondly, talk to people. Third, share the stories, your results and the results of others. Now, the second thing we do is we share our income opportunity. And this is what creates leverage. And I'll speak to that in a moment, the difference between developing a consumer base one customer at a time versus developing a consumer base by developing distribution teams. That's called leverage. It's a much faster way to get a large consumer base. But sharing the income opportunity is equally as simple. 3 things, and you're going to laugh at this one. How do we share our income opportunity? Number 1, put this in your notes. Use the products. The products do most of the heavy lifting in our business. Number 2, talk to people. And number 3, share the stories. In this case, share the stories of people's financial success in our business. Your own personal story and the stories of others. And in the very beginning, a brand new distributor really doesn't have an income story because you've just gotten started. And so you're going to leverage the stories of others. In many cases, it'll be the stories of your upline support team members. Your upline silver, gold, emerald, your upline diamond, your upline, black diamond, what have you. And the purpose of that is to follow a simple system so that you can then develop your own income story. When I first started with Zija, bear in mind, this is my 3rd multi-level business. Because I'd already done this successfully twice before, I was able to get off to a very fast start, not because I'm special, not because I had a team of 10,000 people to join me in the business when I came over. I'd been retired for a number of years. I started just like everybody else, and I'm going to teach you that system in just a moment. But what I did is I got started. I identified a few people. I invited them to take a look at what I was doing. I used a tool to do the presentation, and I put them on the phone with my upline. And literally, within 2 weeks, I was able to get a complete return on my investment. I started with a diamond pack, $1,300 worth of product, gave me lots of product for personal consumption to get my family on. So I was able to, generate some additional stories on the product. It allowed me to have some leverage in getting out of the gate in my business. Within 2 weeks, not only was I able to earn all the money necessary to pay off the credit card, I made another couple $100 on top of that. Okay, then I had a story. And see, this is the key. Develop your personal story, because that will then help you with your team development, whether it be sharing your story with somebody that you're introducing to Zija or sharing your story for one of your team members just getting started. So let's break it down a little bit more. I've already kind of touched on one of these topics, using the products. The more products that you use, first of all, you're going to get the results. People will start to notice a difference. I mean, today in Zija, I weigh almost 40 pounds less than I did the day I started Zija. I'm at a weight that I was in when I weighed when I was in my early 20s. And if you think about it, for most fellas, that early to mid 20s was probably the best shape they were in of their life. Today, that's how much I weigh, is what I did in my early 20s. And I'm much more physically fit. Personally, between me and you, I think I look really good. And I will work circles around guys that are 20 or 30 years younger than me. And so using all the products, or as many products as you can, is going to give you personal results. It's also going to allow you to speak about the different products. This is one of the things I think is hilarious. A lot of the fellas that are in Zija, they're not using the skincare because they think it's a woman's product. They don't sell any skincare. I sell a lot of skincare. Why? Because I use the skincare every single day. Now, in the beginning, let's be candid, you may not be able to use all the products every day. You know, use as many as you can. Today, I use a lot of product, but that's because I can afford to. What you want to do is you want to create an environment where you can not only use the products you want to use personally, but you can get your family members on it, your children, your parents, what have you, and be able to do that financially. For a lot of people, that's what ZJ is. It's a chance to be able to get a lot of people on the product without having to impact their own personal family budget. So, number 2, talking to people. Now, here's where the system comes into play, and I want you to really kind of focus on this. The average person, when you tell them to write down a list of people that you know, we'll think of half a dozen people right away, the people that they normally associate with. Well, that's fine. That's people you want. I'm going to show you a strategy where the average person can get started and have a list of 50, 100, 200 people that they can talk to. Because everybody, once you hit, about age 30 or so, statistically, 200 to 300 people by name. But most people can't think of who those people are. And just in case you're wondering about this, yes, this is a program where you want to approach people that you know. Here's a real simple reason for it. The system is designed to make success available to the masses. Only a small percentage, maybe 5% of the people out there will be or want to be successful direct cold call salespeople. The challenge with that is there's no relationship developed. See, people that we know, people who know us, our job is to share the story. Share the story of what happens to people who get on our product. Share the stories of what happens to people who get involved in our business. And people that know us, they are more likely to take a couple of minutes to hear our story, as opposed to a stranger who we have no credibility with, no relationship with. Why would they even be interested in hearing our story? And that's what our job is to simply share the stories. Jim Rohn, a gentleman that has made a major impact on my life, shared this years ago, and I think it's very appropriate. The first most important thing is to have a good story to tell. Okay, and that's what our training is, to help you to develop a good story. Number 2, learn how to tell the story well. Have a good story, learn how to tell it well, and this is where the magic takes place. If you share the story often enough, it will eventually fall on good ears. It may not happen right away. For some people, it happens right away. For others, it takes longer. Certainly, I was not an overnight success story in ZJ. I wasn't an overnight success story in my first company. The second company, I was an overnight success story in a lot of cases, but that was kind of a unique situation. But the fact is, most people aren't overnight success stories. Have a good story to tell, learn how to tell it well, and if you tell it often enough, it'll eventually fall on good ears. You just have to trust in the process because it is inevitable. So, how do you create a large list? Use tools, okay? I recommend that you use what's called a memory jogger. You may want to jot that in your notes. A memory jogger is simply a paper and pencil tool that has, there's 100, 200 different types of people everybody knows. And this is a great way to start an organized process. I'm not going to go into detail on that. I have spent time putting together a couple little training videos on how to create a list, how to use a memory jogger. I encourage you to go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Fred Holmes ZJ. Go to the YouTube channel, look through the various videos. You will see a training on how to develop a list, how to use a memory jogger. If you don't have a memory jogger, get a hold of your upline. They've got one, or get a hold of me. I'll send you the one that I personally use. But the memory jogger is a tool that will allow you to be able to generate a list of many, many people who would at least be willing to hear your story. And if you share a good story often enough, it'll eventually fall on the right ears. And here's the magic of ZJ. It doesn't take that many people to build a phenomenal business. Now, last thing, talking with people on subject of talking to people. There is a way to talk to people. This is what most people refer to as the system. And it's really important that you get this down, because this is critical to creating an opportunity that the masses can be involved in. There are 3 steps to talking to people. Once you've generated that list, here are the 3 steps. Number 1 is the invitation, inviting people to look at what you're doing, whether it be the product or the opportunity. These 3 steps work identical for both of those, either sharing our product or sharing our opportunity. I'm going to speak about the opportunity because that's what creates the leverage necessary to create a large distribution organization, a large consumer base. So the first step is the invitation. That's what you do. You invite people to take a look at what we're doing. The second step is the information, or if you will, the presentation, because you invite people to take a look. They're going to say, well, tell me about it. Here's a key. That second step, that's not your job. It is not your job to do the presentation. Put this in your notes. The presentation should be done with tools. Something else other than you sharing the information. And step 1 and 2, the invitation and the presentation, are really designed to get you to step 3, which is the beginning of the recruiting process, which is the validation. Third-party validation. Somebody besides yourself talking about the opportunity, the potential for success, and whatever. 3 steps in talking to people. Number 1, the invitation, that's what you do. Number 2, the presentation, that's what the tools do. And number 3, the validation, if you will, the documentation, the opportunity is real and works, and that's what your upline typically does. Okay, the person that brought you into the business, or somebody that brought them in the business, somebody that's actively engaged and has a story. Now, some of you have heard the system referred to as peak, pass, plug. Peak interest, plug them into information, pass them to somebody else that's got a story. It's the same system, okay, folks? It's just different words. I use invitation, presentation, validation because those words make sense to me. That's what I was taught, but it's the same system. So it's really important to understand that if you focus on a simple system, perfect that, teach that, that will be what allows you to create a large distribution team. And understand this, network marketing at its heart, as I said a moment ago, it is the average person's best chance to create financial security through having a business that develops leveraged residual income. The way it works, it's not a business of a few people doing massive amounts of volume. It's a business of a lot of people doing a little. If you think about it, if you had 10 distributors who went out and got 2 or 3 or 4 customers, you'd have 20, 30, 40 customers, right? If you had 100 distributors that simply got 1 more or 2 more customers this week, you'd have another 100 or 200 customers, consumers in your distribution organization. It is a business of a lot of people doing a little, and everybody benefits from that. Now, and if you have questions on it, we'll do that during our question and answer session. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of things that are going to be very helpful to you as you build your business, and then I want to, end with the real focus on how do you create the income. One of the things I was taught very early on is this concept of 90% opinion, 10% fact. See, everybody is an expert on the things that we're talking about. We're talking about good nutrition. Everybody eats. So therefore, everybody is an expert on nutrition. You have to appreciate the fact that in most cases, people's knowledge, people's information is 90% opinion and only 10% fact. And you're going to get absolutely nowhere trying to debate with somebody what they believe to be a fact, especially when you understand that 90% of people's facts is opinion. Okay, so rather than trying to debate with people how important good nutrition is, or how important it is to have detoxification or what have you, here is the response to every objection, every concern. It's so simple. I've used this so many times, and actually beyond just the areas of our distribution model. When somebody says something like, well, I don't believe you need vitamins. I don't believe, it's not healthy for you to have that much fiber, or whatever the objection is. You're not going to be able to change their mind with facts, because only 10% of what they believe is facts. The rest is opinion. And you cannot change a person's opinion with facts. So this was the phrase that was given to me, and it works very well. You may want to write this in your notes. I don't know about that. All I know is, and then share a story. Okay. I don't believe that good nutrition can help, people with injuries like the shoulder surgery. I don't know about that. All I know is I started using the moringa drink 4 days, and on the 5th morning I woke up, didn't need my pain medication. I believe that good diet alone is all that's necessary for optimal health. I don't know about that, but my friend John, he's had a good diet for a long time. Still had his blood pressure was up, his cholesterol is up. 90 days drinking my Zija products. My buddy John's, cholesterol went to normal, blood pressure went to normal. His doctor took him off all his medication. Okay, I don't know about that. All I know is network marketing. Yeah, I've heard that's a scam. Nobody ever makes any money in those deals. Well, I don't know about that. All I know is, I'm working with a guy named Fred Holmes, pretty nice guy, but I'll tell you, he's made a fortune in network marketing, and he does it part-time from home. Network marketing. No, that's that deal where only the people at the top make all the money. I don't know about that. All I know is I'm working with Amy McKenzie, and Amy McKenzie's created a full-time income. She's driving a Mercedes. She's put her daughter through the most expensive college in the United States, and she's not the top person in the company. She was a single mom. I don't know about that. All I know is, and a story. If you can get good at sharing your personal story and sharing the stories of others, see, here's what's important to understand, okay? You cannot change somebody else's mind, because most of their knowledge is opinion. But there is no way that they can debate your story, okay? Your story is the story, okay? There's no way they can debate that. And so your job is not to convince people. Your job is to share the stories of others. Now, one last thing, and then I want to move on to the final component of our training. This particular concept is, if you will, you can write it in your notes, concepts versus techniques. Now, techniques. And I know some of you actually showed up here this morning, and that's what you're looking for. I want to know, where do I go? Who do I talk to? What do I say? What do I do to get rich? Okay, that's what you came here for. You want to know exactly where to go, exactly who to talk to, exactly what words to say. How do you say it? Fred, what do you say? Okay, and see, those are techniques. Now, I'm here to tell you, I don't teach techniques for one very simple reason, is it slows your growth. Techniques, by definition, cannot be duplicated by the masses. Okay, where do you go? Well, if you told me where to go to build my Zija business, that'd be a real tough thing for me, because I have to have a home-based business. I am full-time care of my elderly mother. I have to work this around her schedule. I am not free to spend 5, 6, 8, 10 hours a day out in the field prospecting. I can't do it. And so if what you told me is I need to go do swap meets or health fairs or go to this place or that place or set up a booth or what have you, I couldn't do it. Techniques end up restricting or the number of people that can be part of your business. If you're teaching techniques, it's going to limit the number of people that can be involved with you in your business. And here's the sad thing is, this is a business that's based upon a lot of people doing a little. So what I teach is concepts. concepts such as share the product, share the opportunity, and teach others to do the same. If it's a simple system, it can be taught to the average person. The average person can learn it. And where the magic takes place is where the average person teaches it to others. Now, the concepts: develop a list, follow a simple system, invitation, presentation, validation, use somebody else to tell the story. See, everybody can do that. These are the concepts. Now, make no mistake about it. Everybody has a particular technique that they use. I do. Okay, every single one of you will probably have something unique that you do. What I'm sharing, I'm not suggesting you don't use your technique. What I'm suggesting to you is keep your training, involving just the concepts that I'm sharing with you. Let everybody develop whatever unique skill, talent they have. I've got some people that are just excellent at being able to reach out to people on social media. Well, that's great. But if that's what they teach, they've eliminated every single person that could have come into their business and been extremely successful that doesn't use the internet. Okay, I mean, I believe it or not, there are people who don't use the internet. There are people that are computer phobic. There are people that live in areas that don't have high-speed internet, okay, or they just don't like it. There are some people that love being out in the field talking with people. That's great. I would like to do that, but I can't, okay, because of my particular unique situation. So, concepts versus techniques. Concepts remain constant over time. Keep your training, keep your focus founded in concepts, okay? The techniques, if you have some special little thing that you do, well, go ahead and do it. But when you get that new person in because of some technique that you used, teach the concepts. Be the person that has a large organization of people, everybody doing a little. Now, all of this, everything I've shared with you up to this point in time, is designed to provide you with one simple thing: the development of a large consumer base, people using the products on a daily basis. Okay, now, here's what's important to understand. If you get a few consumers, you'll make some money. Okay, if you get more consumers, you're going to make more money. And if you have a lot of consumers, you're going to make a lot of money. Now, I know that seems kind of simple, but that's it. That's as simple as it gets. That's what our business is. Now, there's two ways to develop consumers. You can use a direct sales model. Go out and get one consumer, one customer, go get another, go get another, go get another. 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 is 4. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I think that's great. All of us, including myself, I'm a 7-figure income earner with this company. I have my customers, and I'll get a customer every day of the week. That's the fun part. Okay, love getting somebody on the product. They start losing weight, they start feeling better, they're looking better, they're excited about it. I've had to get another housekeeper here recently because of some of the challenges we've had here at home. I have to have support in the home here on an ongoing basis so that I'm free to be able to do things like this while mom is being attended to. My new housekeeper, she loves the product. The first day when she showed up after taking the product, she looked good. She was excited. She felt alive. She's losing weight. She feels great. That's the fun part. Go and get customers. However, here's the problem with that. How long is it going to take you to get 10 customers? I don't know. Twice as long as it takes to get 5. How long is it going to take you to get 100 customers? 10 times as long as it takes you to get 10. How long will it take you to get 1,000 customers? You see where I'm going with this? You do not have any leverage if you're using a direct sales business model. What I was taught early on was that the significant benefit of a network marketing business is leverage. Allow others to participate with you. And so what I was told, rather than trying to find people that want good nutrition or, healthy skincare, or healthy personal care products or healthy weight loss, whatever, look for the universal needs. Look for people that are actually looking for us, okay? They want what we've got. People that are looking they want more money, okay? More income, more free time in their life, more fun in their life. Who do you know would like to have more money, more free time, and more fun? And if you think about it, that's everybody. I remember, probably about 2 or 3 years ago, I think it was, I was in Ohio doing a meeting for one of our key people out there. And I said, you know, who do you know wouldn't want more money, more free time, more fun? And they said, well, that would be you, Fred. Like, no, you don't get it. Even I would like more money. Okay, why? Not that I need more money, but if I had more money, I'd buy more real estate. More real estate would allow me to help more people get affordable housing that's good quality. It'd allow me to spin off more income so I can bless more people with it, right? I don't need more for me, but people that are in that top 1% of income earners, the vast majority of us understand that because we've been given the capacity to create wealth, we have the responsibility to make that wealth do things, good positive things for our world, our community, and what have you. Okay, so everybody wants what we've got. Now, we also know not everybody's going to do what we do, but some will, and it doesn't take that many. Okay, so here's the concept. Let's take your brand new person. Let's say it's you. And what our job is to teach you the system. Okay, use the products, you know, talk to people, share the stories. How do you do that? Invitation, presentation, validation. Now, we got a simple system. We'll help you develop a list. Then we're going to work with you, and we'll go talk to a few people. And all we're really looking for is 2 people like you. 2 people that would like to make some more income, have some more free time, have more fun. Now, once we get those 2 people in, we're going to help those 2 people get 2 more. Note, I didn't say you have to go teach those people. I said we're going to do it. Your upline support team. In the beginning, you want to watch and learn and develop these skill sets as your support team, your upline, help you. You introduce them, we'll help get them in, get them trained, get them going. Now, let's take those first 2 and help them get their first 2. Now you have 4 people on your second level. And what we're going to do is we're going to take those 4 people and help them get their first 2. Our business is simply getting 2 people to get going. Now, you're going to have 8 people on your third level, and then we're going to help those 8 people get their first 2. Okay, now you have 16 people on your 4th level. And be clear, there is science behind what I'm sharing. 4 levels is critical. Okay, keep it as simple as only getting 2. Every new person just has to get 2 to get started. Now, if you do the math, it's not 16 people. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 30. You now have 30, let's call them distributors, but distributors are also consumers. Everybody uses the product. I use the product, you're using the product, your team will use the product, everybody uses the product. So there's actually 30 consumers. And the more you know about Zege's products, the more you're going to understand this. Is it likely those 30 distributors, just from using the product, are going to get 1 or 2 or 3 people using the product? Think about this. You know, young gal gets on Zege, loses 12 pounds her first month. Do you think the other gals in the office are going to want to hear about it? Of course. You know, take an old guy like me in the gym, has to wrap up the knee, had an old ball injury, struggling on the treadmill, and, you know, couple of weeks on Zege Moringa, and he's feeling better, knees working better, no more pain. You think the other old guys in the gym are going to want to know what he's doing? Yeah. Okay, so by simply using the products and getting product results, you can see how those 30 consumers getting 1 or 2 or 3 friends on the product all of a sudden become 60 consumers, 90 consumers, 120 consumers. And now we're building a large consumer base by simply starting with 2 people, helping them get 2, helping them get 2, helping them get 2. Now, what's very interesting is that if you do this, the key, and you may want to put this in your notes, the key to success is not some kind of unique technique. It's not some kind of, 60, 80, 100 hours a week of building a business. Here's the key. Consistency of effort over time. Consistency and persistency. Share the product. Share the opportunity. Teach others to do the same. Learn the stories. if you share a good story often enough, it'll eventually fall on good ears. What I'm sharing with you is exactly what I did to get my Zija business off the ground, exactly what I've done to create an income within 36 months, working part-time from home, that put me in the top 1% of income earners in the country. And then the last ingredient, I'm going to go open up for questions. Be aware, the reason that I'm here right now, okay, it's not because I need to give up this hour on my Saturday morning, okay? It's because of where Zija is today. We are literally at the beginning of one of the most significant growth curves in the history of a network marketing company, and one of the most significant companies in our profession. Okay, when you can find a company that can stick around long enough to create the infrastructure, the product diversification, the corporate leadership team, and now the field leadership team that can take us from, you know, $100 million a year in sales to $500 million a year in sales. This is where the fortunes are made in our industry, and that's where Zija International is today. So that's why it's so important for me right now to be part of that process, sharing a simple system, something can be duplicated by the masses. That's why I'm going to be doing the Surf's Up Summer Tour event next Saturday. It'll be the same time, 10 o'clock Pacific in the morning, 1 p.m. in the afternoon on the East Coast. That's 7 a.m. in the Hawaiian Islands, and that's sometime tomorrow or the next day in Guam. So you have to check your own time zone for what country you're in. But the whole purpose is to be able to provide for the next generation of Zija success stories the information and the knowledge that people like myself have gained over the years. So let me do this. We've concluded the information I wanted to share with you. I'm going to check here and see what we got for questions. I see Fernando has raised his hand. Welcome, Fernando. Good to have you with us. I'm glad you were able to make it. If you'll see there, there's a section where you can chat. I see a Q&A section, but we're not using that. Okay, so we'll just skip that. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the chat. Good morning from Edmonton. Rebecca Preston, you are so sweet, sweetie. Thank you very much. And hey, for an old guy, I got it going on, don't I? All right, I'm going to go ahead and give it a minute here. Go ahead and if you have a question, type it into your, it says chat. There's a little chat feature at the bottom of your screen, or it might be at the side, depending on, you know, whether you're on your smartphone or you're on your computer. But if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. I can't possibly have done that good a job that there are 0 questions. But go ahead and while you're formulating a question, let me make sure I'm not missing something here. Oh, there's more. All panelists, all attendees. Yep. Okay. I'm still trying to familiarize myself with this technology. You know, you can teach an old dog new tricks. Oh, couple of things right now, and again, I encourage you, got a specific question, and hey, it might not be a question that you need to have answered for yourself, but you'd like it to be answered for your team members. I want you to feel comfortable putting in that kind of question as well. And no, I won't make you come on the screen with me. A couple of things I can share with you though. If you really want to be successful in our type of business, here are a couple of suggestions to you. Number 1, commit. Make a decision that you're going to do this. Okay, so many people start out with, well, you know, it looks interesting, Fred. You know, I think I'll give it a try, see how things go, and if it really gets going good, I may put more time in. Folks, that's about as wishy-washy as the day is long. Let me give you a different example of what that is. Hey, we got a brand new baby, you know, we thought we'd, you know, see how it goes, you know, if he grows, does good, you know, we might keep him. Folks, that's not how you build a long-term success, thinking about it or giving it a try. Folks, commit. Commit to doing your Zija business. Develop your game plan. And it starts with setting the goals. See, when I got involved in my first multi-level company, I had no options. All right, as a cross-country truck driver, I made a good living, okay? But the problem with it wasn't nearly the kind of money I needed to provide for the educational needs my son had as he was entering school age, nor did it allow me to have the time freedom to be with him. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. It was essential that I have the financial resources to provide for my son and the time freedom, the availability in my day-to-day schedule to be with him if I was going to do my job and empower him to become all that he could. What was more important than creating success for my son? Was there anything more important? See, when I committed to this profession, it wasn't until a certain period of time, or if something happened, I committed no matter what. And it's the reason why a lot of people started with that first company when I did, and they're not around anymore, and I am. Okay, make a commitment. Number two, develop a game plan. Now, unless you have experience in the industry like I had, and I'm not saying, you know, everybody, there's lots of people who've been in multi-level, they've never really known how to do it as a professional. Unless you've already made significant income in a multi-level company, get together with one of your active engaged uplines. Help them, have them help you develop an effective game plan. Okay. Number three, get plugged in. Okay, get plugged into your upline, get plugged into the resources they're providing. All of us, there's lots of, you know, I'm looking at the people that are on today. There's a lot of upline leaders, very successful people in Zija and in our profession that represent your upline team. Okay, many of you, most of you, I would say, are also part of my personal organization. There are other upline leaders that you have, and that's because I've developed a lot of leaders. But you can get plugged into me. A couple of things, okay? You know, if you want to be part of my newsletter, my team email, so you can get these announcements and the links and so on, go to my website. It's fredholmes.com. Click on contact or contact me, whatever it says, and scroll down to the bottom of the page. You'll see a place where you can sign up for my newsletter. That's my team email list. Then you can get those announcements. Go to Facebook. I have two profiles on Facebook. I have my personal page. It's Fred W. Holmes, you know, at Fred W. Holmes. Go friend me, okay? I'm a friendly guy. I'll friend everybody, right? My brain just went off in a direction. I'm so glad my brain filtered what I was about to say. You know, for a good time, call Fred Holmes. Friend Fred Holmes. Yeah, I have a business page. It's Fred Holmes Zija. Okay, go like my business page. Now, when you do that, a lot of the information, the training, the kinds of things that I'm pushing out into the field to benefit the new team members, that'll start appearing on your news feed. Another thing, go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. Go to my channel, youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija, and subscribe to the channel. That way, every time I post a new presentation, a training, what have you, you'll get notified of it. These are ways to be plugged in. Talk to your upline diamond. They're all doing something. You know, they've got team calls, what have you. They're all doing something to support the organization. Get plugged in. Stay around the fire. You'll stay warm. And if you stick around the fire long enough, you're going to get hot. Okay? So there's some thoughts for you. What do we got here? Love your approach, Fred. You create a very visual view of success. Well, thank you. You know, that's kind of an interesting thing. The vision of success. Now, we have one of those unique industries that we have to show what we're doing. Okay. And in the beginning, let's face it, you're not going to have millions of dollars your first day in Zija. And so I'm not suggesting to you go out and buy a new house, you know, spend tens of thousands of dollars on wardrobe and jewelry and cars and what have you. But as quickly as you can, you want to be able to demonstrate some of the results of your business. Okay, so for instance, one of our very part-time levels is called gold. Our gold rank, it is a very, you know, a very part-time business. Now, how do you get to gold? goal's pretty simple to get to. Daily method of operation, share the product, share the opportunity, teach others to do the same, do a little bit every day over a prolonged period of time. It's inevitable you're going to hit gold. When you hit gold, the company starts kicking in an extra $100 a week to your commissions for the purposes of paying for a Mercedes-Benz. Now, that's $400 a month. I'm going to tell you right now, $400 a month, you can get yourself a really nice new Mercedes-Benz sedan, you know, get it on a lease, and now you can start driving around in Mercedes-Benz. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, Mercedes-Benz is the end-all, end-all. I am saying that if you drop by a friend's house in your new Mercedes, and they go, wow, you know, you and Mary must be doing really well. You and Bob, what did he get a raise? No. It's my Zija business. I've been telling you about this great part-time home-based opportunity I have. You watch how fast your friends want to learn more about your little business, okay? You know, I've had people say, Fred, you know, what kind of Mercedes do you have? I don't have a Mercedes, okay? I've got a BMW. I've got a BMW M6. It's a race car. I drive the BMW as opposed to Mercedes because I can. You can have any car you want. I'm just saying, if you want the free Mercedes, get the gold, okay? Let's see here. Burn up, thank you. Oh, well, thank you, my dear. Caspera from Edmonton. You guys are so kind. Man, I just want to stay here with you all day. You're saying such nice things. Well, it looks like I don't have any burning questions. If I've missed something, and that's certainly possible that I may have missed something, raise your hand if I've missed something. I see Fernando has raised his hand, and I think that was probably simply to tell me that he was here. Let's see. I think I'm all good. Appreciate you. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. All right. Well, I think you know, we're at the end of our time frame here. One more time. Next week on Saturday morning, and you've become accustomed now, we're doing this on a regular basis. Saturday morning fast start training. Thursday evening, we do a short business presentation. That's a powerful tool for you to use. From my home office, I do a, you know, kind of a once over lightly, you know, about the Ken Brailsford story, the Moringa story, our opportunity, and then I have a chance to have a few people that have had the results that are there to share their story, whether it be the product story or their business story. I had Reed Nelson from Oregon on with us this past Thursday night. What a tremendously powerful story from Reed Nelson. You know, multi-million-dollar income earner in the industry. Could have retired, could have had any company in the industry, you know, pay him to join them, and they chose, him and his wife Yvonne and a couple of their business partners, they chose to come to Zija. It was powerful. So there's a tool that you can use Thursday evening, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. We use this same webinar address. Next Saturday again, we're going to be doing a special Zija Nation Surfs Up Tour event. We're going to be talking about the new protein bars. You're going to have an opportunity to get a code to be able to pre-purchase those, pre-order those. So anyway, I think we're good for the day. One last check here. Oh, hey Sheila, somebody said they like my reggae music. Yeah. I'll never claim to be a very good dancer, but I like dancing, and honestly, I'm old enough, I really don't care whether people think I'm a good dancer or not. I taught my boys this. You don't have to be a good dancer, you just have to dance. The girls don't care whether you're a good dancer, they're just happy to have somebody asking them to dance. So you know, one of those things that the boys remember. I'm not always sure I like the fact that they remember everything I said, but that's probably a good one. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off on this broadcast. Been great being with you folks. I hope this information has been helpful to you. Looking forward to seeing you, well, this upcoming week's agenda. We've got David Moses MIT call on Monday. We're going to have, the Zija Nation calls on, not Zija Nation calls, but the product focus calls on Wednesday and Friday. Thursday evening, I'll be doing the short business presentation for you to plug in for your prospects. And then really excited, I'm going to have several of our top field leaders going to participate with me in this event on Saturday morning. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thanks for having me with you this morning, and thank you for coming by the home office. Look forward to seeing you all next week. Have a great rest of your weekend.